Hi, everyone. I'm Sean Malott with the Central Florida Development Council, and today I'm joined by Lady Alisha Martin. Lady Alisha is the Vice President of Business and Economic Development at Suncoast Credit Union, one of Florida's largest and most trusted credit unions. In her role, she leads efforts that expand financial access, strengthen local economies, and deepen Suncoast's impact across the communities it serves. Known for her collaborative leadership style, Lady Alisha works closely with business leaders, nonprofit partners, and community organizations to support financial education and economic opportunity. Passionate about service and empowerment, she brings a people-centered approach to advancing financial well-being for businesses, individuals, and families. Lady Alisha, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
To kick things off, can you please share a brief snapshot of Suncoast Credit Union and the purpose that drives the work that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for asking. So Suncoast, in a nutshell, we've been around since 1934 and started as an educators credit union to help support educators. And obviously over those 90 years, don't we look great? We have really grown to encompass membership that actually is across the United States. And we've done that because our mission is really to improve the financial lives of our members. And the bigger we grow, the more we're able to live our mission and do that for our members.
And what does the footprint of the credit union look like right now?
Yeah, so right now, as far as branch-wise, we're 80 branches and growing.
Wow, fantastic.
And so we've got branches all over the state of Florida, and then we're growing outside of the state as well, which is pretty exciting. So obviously we know we have a lot of, Northerners that come to visit us.
Sure.
So with our expanded membership footprint, we're able to have somebody live in Michigan and come down and be a snowbird and still be a member, and we can serve them whether they're home or in their summer home.
Oh, fantastic. Well, so what first drew you specifically to the financial industry?
Yeah, so at the ripe old age of 22, we're not going to say how many years ago that was, but at the ripe old age of 22, I had all of the really bad financial habits that my parents did, and I actually ended up filing for bankruptcy. And I really had felt like I kind of failed at life before I had even started. And so I figured the best way to really break that cycle and learn and make sure it never happened to me again was to do it for a living. So that's actually how I became a banker. And
that's powerful.
Well, thank you. It was a good learning lesson. Sure. And honestly, it really...
What a motivator.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and it makes it great too, because when I do work with people and they're across the desk for me and they say, well, you don't understand. I say, well, really, I absolutely do. And here's why. And it gives you a little bit of a different purpose to help other people learn from my mistakes so they don't have to go through all the things that I did. And Suncoast really does exactly the same thing. They spend a lot of time, energy, and effort in the community and also teaching financial literacy. It's all the things that I wish somebody would have taught me early in life so I didn't have to go through all those other obstacles.
Yeah, excellent. Well, then how do you think about the credit union's responsibility to the community itself?
Yeah, they have an amazing love and passion for the community. One of the other reasons that I just adore and feel like I have the best job in the world is they're so driven and supportive of their community. Last year, as an organization as a whole, we had almost 48,000 volunteer hours between 2,500 employees. So we all really love our community, feel a really big responsibility to do it. As a credit union, we are not bound by any other CRA credits or anything like that. We're out there doing it because we want to, and we love that they support the community so much. In fact, that for the Suncoast members that are part of our credit union, anytime you use your Suncoast debit or credit card, Suncoast takes 4 of their own pennies and puts it back into a bucket for each of those different counties. And those dollars go straight back into those communities. And I think to date, since our foundation started in 1990, we've put almost $60 million back into the communities that we serve.
That's fantastic. What kind of projects does Suncoast support?
Yeah, so all different kinds. We do everything. I have this, over the last year, we have actually created an economic development department. And part of what some of those funds have gone to is economic development. And what we do is we go out into the community. We really want to be at the seats of the tables where these big conversations are happening, like affordable housing, upskilling workers, all of those things, and really being able to come in and creatively help. We've partnered with a few different organizations like Habitat for Humanity. We found that 70% of the folks that are applying for Habitat homes and were declined actually qualify for mortgages with us. So we've created a really great...
Say that percentage again?
70%.
70%. Wow, that's a big number.
It's a huge number. And it's a lot of people that, when they go into that scenario, don't think they have the dream at their fingertips for home ownership.
70% qualify.
70% qualify for mortgages with us. We've done a lot to, we've really done a lot to not only make home ownership a dream, but also just financial wellness in and of itself. One of the really unique things, one of the things that I was most impressed at Suncoast when I first started with them, we do not have any sort of collections department. We call it Member Solutions, and they will do any and everything to help you. I had a lady call and really needed some help, and she had, a car, a couple of credit cards, and a son who was getting married. Her monthly payments were almost close to $800. I sent her over to Member Solutions. They were able to consolidate everything for her and take her payments all the way down from almost $800 to $221 a month. And that's life-changing money. And that's just one of a million examples. And that was so impactful to me because, with our mission, we say we want to improve the financial lives of our members, but not just in the good times, also in the bad times. And the economy is pretty tough right now. So it's very heartwarming and makes me feel good to go out in the community and say, we can help, and then actually really be able to do it. Wow.
That's impactful. That's huge.
We both cried. I was like, I'm so happy we can help you. Work, right? That's one day.
Well, so from your perspective, what would you say makes Suncoast unique in that you get kind of a crowded financial landscape?
Yeah, I think it's a couple of things. To be honest, in that financial landscape, we really embrace everybody. We're friends with everybody. We do a lot to, if it's not something that we can help with, we want to make sure that, we're sharing that opportunity with some of our other credit union partners or even some of the banks as well. I also think what really makes us different is something that we wear our heart on our sleeve. So on all of our sort of Suncoast apparel, you'll see a heart on our sleeve, and we actually call our employees member advocates because we're truly there to advocate for the member. So sort of in the same story I just told you, and in many different ways, we are truly here to advocate for that member and really make sure that, we can come up with some sort of financial solution for them that really makes sense and, helps them buy groceries, pay for their house, or even have vehicle transportation to get to and from a job.
Yeah, that's more than what a normal financial institution would do.
Yes. It makes me sad. I understand that every institution is different and they run different ways. Sure. The unique thing about credit unions is that we're owned by our members and we're actually a not-for-profit. So we don't have to have all the shareholder profits and, 20% increase in revenue this year. Truly, everything that we make goes back into the credit union in the form of either lower interest rates, lower no fees, or it actually goes back to the employees to make sure that, we have really great all types of benefits, mental health days, birthdays, everything that we need. It's incredible what they do.
And you have a great logo as well.
We have a great logo. I mean, we love it. Although some people say it looks like an egg, so I don't think it looks like an egg.
I see the sun. Suncoast definitely, it definitely is. Yeah, it's love the colorful. The beauty there is wonderful. So
it's appropriate for Florida, and we definitely, if you walk into any of our branches, you'll see there is color everywhere. It's super bright, very welcoming, and that really is intentional because interestingly enough, a lot of people don't know this, the majority of our branches are put in underserved areas.
Okay.
So they are not in the rich neighborhoods where everybody is at. It's really in the neighborhoods that really need the most help. And so when you come into a branch, if you come into a branch, we want it to be inviting and not scary and overwhelming. So it really is with intention how they design that.
Yeah, well, when I see the branch colors, it just makes me happy.
You smile, right?
Smile,
yeah,
definitely.
I love it.
That's good. Okay, and so kind of shifting gears here. So talk to us about Suncoast and how the bank uses technology, and how do you see banking and credit union technology changing, in the upcoming years?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think it's sort of twofold. So we definitely have embraced technology, especially for AI. We've actually won some awards for our use of AI and fraud prevention, which is really exciting because as good as we get, the fraudsters always try to be one step ahead. So it's been really great to be able to embrace that. And we're working on a brand new app that's going to be coming out in the next few months, which we're really excited about. But the cool thing is we also really, as technologically advanced as we are, we still really want that hometown feel to where the majority of folks on my team, you can actually text a banker, within almost normal business hours and get a response. And it's not that often that you can say, hey, can you text your banker and get a response? Oh, well, I have to call the 800 number. It's really intentional to create those relationships to where you feel comfortable even asking what you think are silly questions, even though they're not. But it could be the difference from you falling off that financial cliff or jumping off that financial cliff and really getting the information you need. I wish I would have been able to text somebody and ask some financial questions instead of digging myself into a hole that took years to dig out from. So I think we really embrace technology, but we also really embrace that, one-to-one, one-on-one feel as well.
Do you think people are willing to ask questions via text that they might not ask question over the phone or in person?
I definitely think so. I know that a lot of my workplace banking team, they'll get text messages that start with, I'm in a meeting, I just have a quick question, or, I'm not comfortable coming into a branch. It gives you sort of that anonymous feel without having to sit with somebody face to face. And sometimes it can be intimidating. There's, big oak desks and,
Sure.
There's assumptions that come along with that. And I think it's easier for somebody, what is it, that keyboard courage? It's easier to ask those questions that way if you think they don't know who you are or can't see your face than sitting somewhere face to face, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes it more accessible in many ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, and having multiple ways to connect, right? And having those people available to be able to do that and create that access through technology and in other ways, I think that's something that people desire and look for.
Yeah, absolutely. We have all different points of entry, whether you're, very, very young or very, very old. A lot of our folks that I'll run into, they'll be like, oh, I've been a member since I was a kid. And, as you grow, there's different ways that you want to access and really learn. And that can be through technology, or you're in a branch, or you run into somebody like me that says, no, well, wait a minute, let's talk about this. How can we help? It makes a big difference.
And then how would you say, and I know we talked a little bit about this, but that Suncoast strengthens communities?
Yeah, we really are very big in communities in real ways. So as I mentioned before, we don't need the CRA credits. We don't need any of that. We're here because we want to be, and in many different ways, whether it's showing up, volunteering, or being the presenting sponsor of an event, or even as something as unique as we had an opportunity to help upskill some workers, and they were folks that were taking classes to be plumbers, electricians, all of that. And being a contractor's daughter, I know that it's very difficult once you graduate those classes to be able to go out and buy the tools and the PPE and all the things that you need to either go get that job or start your business. So Suncoast came in and purchased all of the tools and PPEs for those graduates and surprised them. And I've never seen grown men cry so hard in my life. But those are really the unique things that truly, truly make a difference, because
And
these folks.
Yeah, what an impact that makes to be able to kind of be surprised with that.
It gives you goosebumps. It's the best part of my job, and I love that they are so supportive in all of those creative ways to show up and help, whether it's after a hurricane or before the hurricane. Any of those times, we really are at liberty to say, hey, you know what? And to go back to that advocate nature, we really want to advocate for, this organization or this group of people, any way that we can help. They are totally open to hear it and try to find a way.
Wow, that's really unique, and again, that's glad you're doing that for the community. And we hear, on the economic development side, about projects that, as a credit union that you're a part of and your team's a part of, and then not only you're helping the individual, but helping businesses and helping business owners grow and expand, and that's, again, that makes a kind of a multiplier when it comes to economic impact. So
yeah, we're one of the financial institutions, especially in Polk County, that can do everything from really, really large, up to $75, $100 million commercial deals, all the way down to for small businesses that are either, 3 years or less, brand new entrepreneurs. We'll give you anywhere from $500 to $50,000 to start your business, even with a credit score as low as 570, and really help coach you and get you on your way into that business so that you can be one of those people that are successfully helping grow this economy. That's actually our microlending program is
it's like a springboard for success there.
It is. And we also are very good connectors and make sure that they have connections with the SBDC, SCORE, all of these different agencies and areas, Prospera, that really BBIC, BBIF, all these different organizations. We really collaborate well to make sure that especially these entrepreneurs have all of that support and can be really successful. It's part of so we are actually the largest CDFI in the country.
Okay.
So the U.S. Department of Treasury certified us as a certified development institution, and really kind of helps further our mission of, helping those folks that are really underserved and need it the most.
Yeah, and you just mentioned kind of a host of support organizations that are valuable when someone is putting together the business plan, like SBDC. We work closely with that organization out of USF, and it's just, again, the way that they can do the early assistance. But again, it's planning. But then when it comes to financial, I mean, those are the big two. It's the planning itself, but also the financial assistance. So thanks for being that network.
Yeah, we're grateful to do it. I enjoy it. I have been a very successful business expert for 30 years, and so I'm always happy to show up and help however I can. I think that's a big part of not only what I do, but what Suncoast does, which makes it great.
Great. So for someone considering a career in financial services, what advice would you give to that person just starting out?
Yeah, I would say make sure it is rooted in something that you're passionate about. So what do you get excited about, or what are you trying to learn about? Being curious, I think, is also really important. I think if you can incorporate something that you're passionate about, something that you continuously stay curious towards, I think that will really help you figure out whether you want to be a teller or the CEO. I mean, you could end up somebody like me that goes from bankruptcy to the boardroom. I mean, you can kind of span the gamut, but I think being curious and aligning it with one of your passions is pretty important.
Well, it's obvious how passionate you are about your profession, and you kind of radiate that optimism as well. And I think probably very encouraging to someone who needs that financial assistance in all realms.
If I can do it, truly anybody can do it. It's not easy, so learn from my mistakes.
Well, yeah, others have made those mistakes to be able to learn from. So thank you for going through that process.
Yeah, no problem.
So when you look 5 to 10 years down the road, what do you hope Suncoast's legacy will be for its members and the communities it serves?
That is a really big question.
I know, right?
That is a really big question. There's so many things. I think really the legacy really would be our love and support for the community in the good times and bad. I'm very excited about all of the things that we're doing on the economic development side. We're really going to 5-10 years from now have a huge impact on affordable housing and just creating really unique opportunities, even for, we started with teachers. We are still very much loving on our teachers and, educational workers, and creating opportunities for them to buy homes where they really couldn't, really upskilling workers and, making sure that folks can really even just get to and from work. We do a lot with, we've bought some buses and helped in a lot of different ways. So I think overall the legacy would be the support and love we give all of our communities.
Well, I really appreciate that you have economic development in your title. I mean, that's impactful. Like you don't always see that in institutions outside that really thinking broadly with economic development and really kind of putting the stake in the ground.
Yeah. So speaking of legacy, our CEO, Kevin Johnson, it was his brainchild and something he's very passionate about because it directly aligns with our community. So it's really exciting and very unique for any financial institution to do anything like that. So it's been really fun, and we have a lot of exciting stuff planned for 2026.
Excellent. So maybe shifting a little bit, so kind of focusing on you. So what do you like to do for fun, or how do you relax when you're not in work mode?
We're supposed to relax?
I don't know. I've heard about it.
I am one that can't sit still. I'm sure that's not shocking to you at all. But a very long story short, I broke my neck and my back and was sort of bedridden and in a wheelchair for about 5 years. Right. Yeah, I don't know if you know this story. Surprise. No. So 19 neck and back surgeries later, now that I can get up and go, I don't walk, I run everywhere. And it's a big reason why I have such a big personality and do all of these things. And I feel like given that second chance, I'm not going to waste a single moment of it. So I am the type of person where somebody will walk in and say, hey, we need people to go do a dragon boat race. Who's going to do it? I'll do it. Have you ever done it? Nope. Do you know what it is? Nope. But what'd you do last weekend? Oh, I watched a movie. What'd you do? Won a dragon boat race. And I'm very proud to say I am now a Major League gold and silver medaled dragon boat racer.
Wow. And where was the dragon boat race?
So it was out in Lake Eola over in Orlando. But
great.
I'm really up and open to try anything. I'm very creative, the opposite of what a normal banker is. So anything creative and any opportunity to try something new, that's what I really like to do.
Oh, I love it. And I say around here, we think of more like the Swan Derby and the Swan races. So probably different than the Dragon race. Have you done that as well?
So Suncoast participates in the Swan Derby every year. And I'm very proud to say that I have won the hat contest the last several years. So I'm actually in the process of planning this year's Derby hat. So, and I think we're going to have 2 racers this year in the Swans as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So is there anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to talk about, or anything else that we didn't cover that we should cover in our conversation today?
I think probably the big news that was really actually just shared this past Friday was our merger. So we have officially announced that we are merging with Launch Credit Union, which is
wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's very, very exciting. They are an amazing credit union. We are so lucky. Our cultures align so well. They, just like us, are very focused on service and making sure that everybody has equal and fair access to, financial wellness, which is great. So we've agreed. We're officially engaged, and so now we're planning the wedding. So over the course of the next several months, we'll be presenting that to the NCUA and getting approval. And hopefully by the beginning of the year, we should be officially merged. We will be Suncoast Credit Union still, and Kevin will still be our CEO, but we'll be bringing a whole new family into the mix, which we're really excited about. And obviously that allows us to grow more. And the more we grow, the more we can do for our communities, which is the most exciting part about it.
Yeah, congratulations. So that's
Thank you.
Even more impact to come.
More to come and still growing. So we're really, really excited. It's a really big deal, and it's just such a perfect fit, which sometimes can be difficult, but it's going to be, we're so excited.
Yeah, well, excited to launch there.
Yeah, exactly. Pun intended. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, great. Well, so when someone wants to reach you or your team, how would they do that?
Yeah, so the best way to reach us is either through suncoastcreditunion.com, or they can always reach out to me. I am a professional fugitive, always on the run. So the best way to catch me, I think, as you guys very well know, is through email, alicia.martin@suncoastcreditunion.com.
Well, thank you, Lady Alisha, for being with us today. And again, I'm glad our time together, I hope people will get to know you a little better and reach out to your team. And we appreciate you participating in our podcast today.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you.